notable pass, and the Sahara Desert, and Tibet, all on an electric motorcycle. I'm very intrigued.
I'm pretty sure they don't have chargers in the Sahara every 50 kilometers. He's
find
nodding,
out,
going, yes. Okay, please welcome to the stage Marc Travels, because I want to hear about this. Okay, so I'm saying, I don't think they've got chargers in the Sahara, and you're over there going,
well, I was surprised as well. The matter of fact is, like, I was in Tunisia for a month. Like, that was during like the journey east. I just took a turn to Africa, North Africa. So, and they actually had charging stations, and they were at Total Energy petrol stations. Like every petrol station had like a Tesla charger. So it was quite easy for me to charge up the bike there.
But that's better facilities than we have here, because not every new petrol station has a charger.
Well, I actually started the journey in the UK. That was kind of like my trial run to see if like the bike works, and because I had no idea about electric bikes when I bought the bike. Like, I just had the idea to do it with an electric bike, and then a month later I already had the bike, and then a month later I started the trip. I'm not much of a planner, like I'll just go.
But often that's the best way. We've spoken to a lot of people over the last few days that have done amazing journeys, and the single piece of advice they're all giving is don't overplan, set a date. On that day, get on the road and travel, because no matter how much you plan or prep, you're never going to be prepared. Would you echo that?
Well, yeah, I think people spend way too much time preparing, and I found myself also making that mistake and trying to plan and trying to worry about visas and all this kind of stuff, and that really freaked me out a little bit. And then, especially before I was going to India, I was like, oh shit, I need like documents, I need visa and stuff like that. And that was like months before I even reached there. And then I was like, ah, fuck it, I'll have to do Iran first.
Just to be clear, fuck it, it's German, it's all good.
I have to do Iran first, then Pakistan, and then I will get in there somehow, so we'll be all right. So, and yeah, that's how it worked out for me, pretty good.
How much time did you spend angsting or worrying over your decision to take an electric bike? Because electric technology has been around for a while, but a lot of people are still assuming, I found out very recently incorrectly, that the charge time is forever and you're going to have these sort of issues. What was the moment that you went, electric is the way to go, and why?
Well, I basically did it because, as you know, I have a YouTube channel, and I just wanted to do something nobody else does, and nobody else did that. And I was like, okay, so I can be the electric guy. So that was like the main, that was the main reason I did it.
So the pure idea of the challenge of it was the
challenge,
motivator.
exactly, because everybody and their mother has been around the world on a normal motorcycle, you know? No, I'm joking, but you know what I mean, right? There's so many travelers out there, also on the internet and stuff, and I just didn't want to be another guy on a GS, you know, and I wanted to do something different and something challenging, yeah?
Yeah, but motorcycles and traveling is very personal.
Yes.
And looking back, and things have worked out pretty well for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, on that bike that I took halfway around the world, I did 70,000 kilometers, and it was actually quite reliable, and I did some serious roads or non-roads. Like, I had this one moment in Laos where the road suddenly ended up being a river. Because it was raining so much, and it was a main road, and I found myself in like a meter of water with the electric bike, and I don't know, I just wanted to keep going, and then I decided to overtake a truck that wasn't very clever, and then I also decided for the wrong lane, and I ended up in a pothole and fully submerged the whole bike into water. And then after that, I struggled for like 10 minutes to get it out of there until finally the traction control that I forgot to turn off, like had a fault and turned off, and that got me out of the situation. But yeah, luckily it was an electric bike, because any other bike would have been dead afterwards.
One of the things that Lisa and I picked up on yesterday, speaking to Rob Portman, who's one of the chiefs over at Zero, we were talking about servicing. And you know, most guys that own a high performance bike, well, it's 100 pounds an hour or thereabouts if you take it to an official garage.
Yeah.
Every 6,000 to 8,000 miles. And I said to him, what is the servicing time per year? He went 45 minutes and about £4.
Well, I mean,
And what's your situation here?
Well, I drive a little bit more than the average person a year, so, but still, I only have been to shops for tire change. And yeah, and one time in Iran I had a little problem with the pulley of the motor, but I could fix that with like a torch and like pulling it off and putting it back on, so that was quite easy. But that was the only thing, and like the bike that I had has a belt drive, and these belts, they last about like 30,000 kilometers and then they snap. So that is scary when that happens, especially when you overtake somebody. That was the first time it snapped. But the good thing with that bike was it takes about 10 minutes to replace it, with filming in my case. Yeah. So
You
it's quite
mentioned
easy.
about the Sahara, and we were just like, well, there's going to be nothing there, and of course you said there is. What about when you're in the high altitude, say when you're crossing Tibet? Is the same thing?
Well, Tibet was quite easy because China is very advanced. Like, they all have these electric scooters, electric cars, and even electric buses in the bigger cities, even in Tibet, in Lhasa, in the capital. It was so silent, it was crazy. Like, you're on the main street and it's like super silent, like nothing. So anyway, like wherever I pulled up with the bike, they were already like handing me the extension cord to plug in because it wasn't strange for them.
Because it's normalized.
Yeah, no, it was quite normal for them there. But it was different when I was in Ladakh. I went up to Umlingla, the highest motorable road in the world.
Is that 19,200?
Yes, quite high. And I was the first electric
That
bike
was
to do
lovely.
that.
Quite high.
No, the thing is, I was already in the mountains for a while, like for a month or two, and I was always like above 3,000 meters. So you kind of acclimatize to it, and you're like it wasn't that bad with breathing up there, for me at least. And for the bike, it was no problem either because like electric motor is not affected by altitude or like
Because
anything.
there's no fuel, there's no injection, the pressure doesn't matter.
The problem was there was also no electricity.
So what did you do?
So the thing is, like up there in the mountains, they only have 4 hours of electricity every day, and it's not like a high current or anything. So
Did you think to yourself, I'm okay because I've got a long coast down?
well, yeah, I had to do that once to reach Ladakh. I ended up on a 5,000 meter pass, with the next city was like 70 kilometers away, and I ended up on the pass with 0% battery. So I kind of had to roll down and like play a little bit with the regen and like turning it off and on again. So in the corners I would turn it on again, so the bike would brake with the motor and it would charge the battery, and so I don't have to use the brakes to conserve energy. And I made it. And I didn't know how, but I made it.
Well, we're glad you did. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
So coming from India, and you also then went through Thailand,
Yes.
I would imagine that Thailand is a little bit more up with the...
Yeah, Thailand was
electric
actually super easy. It was actually like, I was a bit afraid that it got a little bit too boring because like every gas station has like a charger and everywhere, every town, everywhere. So it was quite easy there actually, yeah.
So that has altered incredibly since we were there, which was 2010, I think. So
A lot happened.
Things have
Yeah.
changed.
Oh, definitely. I would even say here. I mean, I was on the road for like 2.5 years, so that's my first time back now in Europe. So I don't really know yet how it changed here. Like I'm gonna find it out. I'll be in the UK and Ireland now for a little bit. And but I have a new bike now, and it charges with DC fast charging, like the car chargers. And they are everywhere. They are freaking everywhere. Like I don't even have to plan anything. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm getting a little tired. Oh, where's the charger? I open the app and there's, oh yeah, there's one. So I just go and stop and take a break.
So you've been through these countries, but so far you've given us all the impression that actually charging is not the issue that many of us expect it to be. Was there a particular moment, a particular surprise or challenge that you did have to deal with on a regular basis?
Well, like Pakistan was a real challenge because I went from Iran to Pakistan, and Balochistan, that area there, is very dangerous. You guys know that, right? And you have to get like escorts.
I was going to say, is the military escort still happening?
And that was a bit of a problem because they wouldn't let me charge. They were like, I was if I found like a gas station or something, it's like I have to plug in here, I have to charge the bike, otherwise it's over. Like I can't go anywhere. And they were like standing next to me with AK-47s. They were like, "Oh, there's 0 time left. We have to go. We have to go." It's like I can't. Like I have to charge it another 10 minutes. Otherwise, we stop somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So that was really challenging to do it there. But like when I was there, I already did like, I don't know, 30,000 kilometers on the bike, and I knew the bike pretty well, so I could really. I got a range out of it like 340, 350 kilometers, just knowing how to do it. So that saved me kind of like through the mountain area there until I was free again. Like it was like, for me it was 10 days. They had some like special, I think like, because they're police officers, they're fun, you know, they're really nice, and they're like, "Oh yeah, do you have a YouTube channel, blah blah blah," and they're like checking out the videos. And then, but that really got me into like a weird situation because they then used some special protocol because they thought I'm famous or something, and then I had like,
God, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. But it really sucked because you didn't see anything of the area because you were just with police and guns, and like it wasn't nice until I was in the north of Pakistan, like in the mountain areas. That was awesome then, yeah.
So these lovely people, basically, do you have 4 guys or 8 guys?
Well, they change every 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
At some points I was just going through the checkpoints and they will catch up at some point, you know, like.
So this is a Land Rover with either 1 Land Rover or 2 Land Rovers, and most of them have 2 to 4 fully armed, trained professionals.
Sometimes mopeds. They had like also mopeds.
Oh, the mopeds is a thing there as well.
Yeah.
And they will escort you. It's a government-funded program. They will escort you through the country. And the biggest problem we had is that every half an hour, these guys are so polite.
Yeah, they're nice.
Oh, we have to stop and have tea and biscuits.
Well, yeah, sometimes they promise you food and then they just don't give you any. Like, I had that too, yeah.
We had a few times when we just had to keep on saying, "No, come on guys, we need to make a move, we need to make a move," because we were just running late, crossing over into the border, into India. But they kept on wanting to take me to go and see their aunties and their mothers. And they would lead me away, holding my hand up into this apartment while Simon is downstairs with the guys in the garage or something, with the guns, and I'm with the mother having tea upstairs. They're so kind.
Well, that's what's different for me. Like when I was in Pakistan for 5 weeks, I did not speak to a woman. That was because they don't speak to you. They're not allowed to just speak to a man. That's so strange, really.
I had a lovely time, lots of tea.
Yeah.
Culturally, moving away from the electric thing, culturally, what was the biggest surprise where you went to a country expecting one thing and perhaps got something else? Was there a country that you went, wow, this is...
Yeah, absolutely. That was India, definitely, because like I didn't know much about India, but because like, you know how they promote India in like Western TV and stuff, like it's basically all like you know, like Varanasi, like the holy city, like with people squatting at the Ganges and stuff like that. And India was nothing like it for me. Like especially going down to the south, I was so surprised how modern the country is. Especially now with the e-bike, there were charging stations everywhere. Like the moment I entered the country, they were way more advanced than I thought they would be. That was crazy, really. Especially the more you go south, the more modern it got. Everything like Bangalore reminded me of Berlin. You know, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So is that a country you'd return to?
I will return. I will go back. I mean, I actually returned already. I went last year to they have a big motorcycle festival as well, the IBW, India Bike Week.
We were there 2 years ago.
Yeah, and I was there last year and I will be back this year again, yeah. And I'm looking forward to it a lot.
It is a great festival. I know we mentioned it before, but if you guys ever want to go and experience a fantastic festival.
It's only 20,000 people and non-stop noise.
It's
There will be more this year.
Absolutely crazy. It's down in the south of India, India Bike Week. Consider it.
It's in Goa.
Who doesn't
Very
want to
nice
go to
there.
Goa, hey? What about a country then that you would go, no, no thanks. I'm not going back there.
It's
Well,
a nasty question, I know.
Yeah, it is. Like, I probably, like, my Pakistan experience wasn't so good. Like, that would be, but that wasn't the country's fault. That was more like because of all the police stuff and all this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't have a country. Like, I would go back to it. The problem is I don't like going back to a country because there's so many countries. Like, I would rather see the other countries first before I go back to one.
Alright, so the obvious next question is, what is the next country that you are genuinely excited to go and ride a bike in?
Well, not country, but I will go to Africa next, like
Okay.
by the end of the year. We'll go to Africa and I will be there, I don't know, at least a year probably. And I'm looking forward a lot to that.
Are you taking this bike?
No,
I would actually love to take this bike because that would be very extreme and challenging to take this bike.
But I hear there's a Dominator instead.
There is a Dominator and it's actually been rebuilt and there's going to be a YouTube series about it, and I know many people look forward to that because they ask me about that bike every day. I get messages about that bike, and but there might also be another rally bike involved that isn't out yet and nobody knows about it yet.
Are you going to be all secretive, or do we get to tell, or you got to keep it under wraps?
No, I will not tell you now.
I will not. He had me. Like, oh, we get a juicy tidbit.
No, but it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a really cool bike. So, yeah, but I have to test it first. I will test it in July and then see how it goes.
And where is testing going to happen?
Okay, I can say that in Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if the guys want to know what you're going to be taking and how the testing goes, how can they find you online?
Well, you just put in Marc Travels anywhere and then you find it, but mainly on YouTube. I'll do vlogs, like 2 to 3 vlogs every week. I actually have quite a big backlog. Like on the internet, I was still in Thailand now.
Yeah.
But now I interrupted the series to go here and to travel the UK a little bit. But yeah, I document everything on YouTube. Like with my previous journey, like every day I was riding this bike was a video every day. So it's like a diary to me.
Insane amount of work.
Yeah, I haven't slept in 2 years. Yeah.
Having a baby would have been easier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Just to note, excuse me, Marc is with a C, if you're looking for Marc. M-A-R-C, not with a K.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever you put in, it comes up.
So what's your route through Africa going to be? What's your route through
Oh, I have no
Africa?
idea. Like, I just want to go from north to south and just see. I don't know. Like, I never plan a route really, because I don't know. I will experience one country and then I'm like, okay, I can move on, and then I go to the next one. That's how I usually do it. I really don't plan much.
The Dominator or a new rally bike is going to be pretty exceptional in some of
Yeah, I
in
have
some
2
of those
options
areas.
for that. So let's see.
Nice high treble suspension. How's your sand riding now?
Well, I mean, on this bike,
That would be interesting,
Yeah.
but not impossible. I mean, Nick
No.
Sanders took an R1 around the world, and watching him go through some of these deserts.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was in the sand with the other bike, and or in Ladakh there was not really roads. You know, it was all off-road basically, the highway. And so, it works. Everything works. You just have to go a little bit slower, and then you can go on any bike basically.
Yeah.
I think that is the whole thing. You can go on any bike, and that's what we've heard over the years as well.
What's an adventure bike? There's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah, any
adventurous
bike.
people that ride them. The
Yeah.
rest is just nonsense and labeling and bullshit.
And
Yeah.
time always flies, and I know I keep saying that, but it gets faster and faster, I think. I do want to come down into the audience and get some questions. We've got about 8 minutes, so...
Jesus, that went by fast.
I know, doesn't it just
Yeah,
fly by? All right.
So don't be shy. What we'd like you if you stand up, put your hand up, give us your first name and the question. If you're in the front, you haven't got to stand up. Just first name and then your question for Marc.
Oh, I'm moving as fast as I can. Who am I going to go to first?
Thanks, I'm Andy. Marc, you spent a lot of time charging Eve when you were travelling on her. And do you think that the time you spent charging, you got time to absorb more of the culture of ordinary people?
Well, yeah, definitely. The fact that I had to go out and ask people every day, hey, can I plug in? That was like, I met so many people just because of that, and then immediately you get to chat, and the people like, they start inviting you to like food or whatever, or they invite you to their like families or whatever. Like I met so many people just because of the fact that I had to ask for power, basically.
So charging the bike actually slows you down and gives you a chance to engage and connect. That was actually a really good question, and not something I thought about.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not just going and going and going, putting in petrol and going. You actually have to get in touch with the locals. And I know it's not easy for everybody. But for me, at some point, it felt quite natural, and like I got over this like, oh shit.
The reticence of that we all have based on pushing ourselves forwards and just shaking someone's hand, because the media tells us the world's a bad place.
Oh yeah, and it's not.
It has bad people, but it's not a bad place, and most travelers will say, and I'm sure you will.
Like for example, bike theft is the biggest thing here in the UK, right? I'm more scared than anywhere of the bike here. Like I put a lock on it and a cover over it here in the UK. But I was never afraid, like in India or somewhere. Like I was never afraid that, I mean, sure, people would take photos with the bike, sit on it and like take selfies and stuff, but I was never scared somebody would steal the bike there.
Marc, Paul Glaze, I seem to remember you had a problem with the battery with Eve.
In the UK, yeah, on the trial run, yeah.
And do you think, surely, I presume you would rather, does it puzzle you that Zero haven't got fast, rapid charging yet?
Well, I don't know why, I don't know how it really works and how difficult it is to put this bike has DC charging. I don't know how difficult that is to change that or whatever, but what I did notice is that the slow charger, the AC charging for cars, which was at the beginning the level 2, all cars had level 2 charging before the fast charging. So those chargers, they're dying out now. They're harder to find or they don't work, which is if you have a bike that only can do that, that is a big problem, And I had that on the journey. I saw in every country there's many more these big charging stations for cars. So, and that's now super cool that I can just rock up there with my bike, plug it in, and then I'll be done in 15, 20 minutes. So that is really cool, yeah.
Which is a very big change to 3 or 4 hours.
Oh yeah, definitely.
15,
I mean, with the other bike that I had before, it was also 1 hour, 20 minutes on the AC charger. It's not too much, no, but I get that it is a lot for many people. For me, it's not, because I basically work all the time. I'm not on the bike, I'm editing. Yeah. So I edited here, watching the other speakers. I edited meanwhile, because there's always something to do. So yeah, but for me it was not a problem because I had something to do, but I can see that it is a bit annoying for people. I understand that.
Hi Marc, Matt here. You mentioned earlier that you're not big on planning your trips beforehand. How do you decide when you're going to press record to capture the footage and then manage to extract the story or create the story after you've filmed it?
That's a good question. So I think many people, they would just get a GoPro or a Insta360 camera, they would just press record and let it run, The thing is, if I would do that every day, I would have hours of footage to go through at night. So I kind of learned to see what could be interesting to people or to me, and I only record this, or if I want to say something, or if I have or I feel like I want to express my feelings about whatever, and then I just press record that, and I'm done with it. So basically, because I want to make fun videos every day, that's the challenge for me. That's another challenge, not just the writing, also the video making is a big deal for me.
So you're basically storyboarding.
Yes, I'm writing the script while I'm writing.
Is that a skill you've always had, or do you think that's a skill that's getting better the more you practice it?
I've been a musician all my life, and songwriting is not much different from making a video. You have these structures where like if you want to tell a story, you always have like a setup, the conflict, and the resolution. That's like the basic structure for every good story, you know. And once you know that, and then you can write the script while you, like I get off the bike at night when I'm at the hotel, and the video is done in my head. Like I already know the video is done. Like I have it completely done in my head. I just have to put it together on the iPad, and that's what I do. And that's why it just takes me like 4 to 5 hours for one video, and then it's done, and then I upload it to YouTube, and then I'm done with it.
But that's still impressive. So you've got a very long riding day, you've got all the challenges that come, and then you've still got 4 or 5 hours to pull it off and edit it.
I wasn't joking when I said I didn't sleep for 2
years. I think a lot of people, we enjoy watching your videos, and they're so entertaining that a lot of people somehow miss the sheer amount of dedication and hours it takes. Again, a few of the guys we've been speaking to, they've all said roughly for every 60 seconds on screen that we watch, it's about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, I have it faster now. Like that, you have to, otherwise it's impossible. Like I was riding this bike from Switzerland to London, and I rode 1,100 kilometers in 20 hours with this bike. Didn't sleep, and then I got to the hotel, took a nap, and then I edited the video and published it the next day, like a 30-minute video, just because I wanted to have it out before I arrived here at the ABR. So yeah, like, I mean, it takes a lot of dedication. You really have to love it, otherwise you're not doing it for very long. Like, I heard...
You don't feel burnout.
Yeah, I heard the other guys say before, like, they had to stop filming on their trip because it took over the trip. For me, that is the trip, you know? For me, it's like 50% riding, 50% video making. That is like...
Because both are your passions.
Yes, it means a lot to me, really. Yeah.
That's really cool to hear. Lisa?
We're going to have time for maybe 3 more questions, I think.
Hi.
Hi Marc, I'm Nick. Yeah, I'm really excited about the new bike. Just a few questions popped into my head. How on earth are you going to change a rear tyre if you get a puncture? The second one, have you got support from the manufacturer? So when are you going to do a kind of longer trip on this bike, or is it just a short-term thing to try it out?
So, like about the rear wheel, I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I saw a video, like they have a video up, like how to do it. It's actually quite easy. You just take all the screws off, take the tire off, put the new one in, and put it back on. Like, it's actually easier than a normal tire change. It looks scary because of the wheel. You don't see it there, but the wheel is the motor. That's why it looks a little bit funny.
It's alright, talk amongst yourselves.
Put your glasses on and then you can have a look.
That is some serious RoboCop shit going on there.
Yeah, it's a 240 wheel as well, so. But they bring out another version with a smaller wheel as well. Yeah, and the second question, like, no, like I'm not sponsored by this company. They just like, I had no bike. Like both my bikes are in a repair shop, and then I was in Japan doing a motorcycle tour in Japan. And then I wanted to come here on a bike, and I just reached out to them. I was like, hey, do you want to give me a bike to go to the UK? And they were like, yeah, sure, we do it. And then they drove one down to Switzerland. They showed me the bike for a day, and then they'll send me off. And then just do whatever you want with it, and keep it however long you want it. And then I said, okay, maybe I keep it forever.
God, it must suck to be you. Well, we've got a couple more questions coming up here.
Hi, Marc.
Hi.
I've got an SRS. And I've been doing the trails this year and last year. Brilliant machine, excellent, doing the right speed, as you say. Would you consider taking your EV on the trails?
Oh, I did. I wouldn't just consider it. Like I did it. Like it's no fun. Like I can say that it's not fun. Like I mean, it's a sport bike, you know. Like it's not fun, but. I mean, I had to, like going, for example, from Nepal to China, the border road is so bad, like there is a trail, and it's the main border road. So, and then when it rains, you have to go through the mud and everything, and I just had to do it, and that's why I did it, but it's not fun, definitely not.
And the final question.
Marc, Tim here. You obviously have, I mean, I'm watching your series at the moment, and you've got a noise, like a bearing noise in your motor. Now, I don't want it necessarily to be a spoiler, but did it break down?
No, the bike's still running.
It's still running?
Yeah, that's amazing. And this bearing problem started like, it was in Nepal, and I rode the bike another 13,000 kilometers with a broken motor. And that was
amazing.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Did that time just absolutely fly by?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Like every day it just goes like nothing. It's really crazy. Like I just wanted to go to New Zealand and now I'm like.
Have you been before?
Yeah, I've been there before. I absolutely love it. I can see myself settling down there.
North or South Island?
Well, the South Island is like absolutely beautiful. Like it's crazy. But anyway, like now I'm like, okay, I've been in the road for like almost 3 years, and like I don't want to stop. So I reckon
3 years is a really good start.
Yeah. No, you guys been like what, like 17 years I heard, right? So yeah, I'll probably end up like you guys. I'll just do it. Hopefully, I find somebody to travel together with at some point.
Yeah,
Well, you can't have her because Ricky Johnson's already got his name down. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
He's going to take her off my hands, which is very, very sad.
Now, where can we find you after this?
After you leave the stage right now,
Where are you
where
gonna
can
be?
people come and talk to you? Where can they come and have a chat to you? In the bar?
Maybe at the bar or in the traveler's tent.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, like anyway, I'll be walking around, I'll be watching the other speakers as well, so yeah, anyway.
And you're happy to talk to anybody about motorcycling and traveling?
Yeah, absolutely, I'm not shouting up about the bike, like I love talking about it.
I
yeah.
got that impression. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Please put your hands together for Marc Travels and his amazing journey. Okay, so I've got to look again at the wife. It's now becoming a thing. We're going to ask you to hold with us for 30 seconds because apparently you also want some Archie, can we grab some footage that we're going to give to Marc as well? So if you think you want to be in potentially one of Marc's next videos, just make a ton of noise. One, two, three. Keep it coming. The last guys are rubbish. You can do better.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
Guys, seriously, thank you for being here because there's so much else going on. We appreciate your time and your interest. A big thank you to Marc again. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, whatever you've got planned and lined up. Hopefully we'll see you back here very, very soon.